So parable, like I said, a very type of sort of infinite, associative, metaphorical thinking apparatus rather than a knowledge of productive sort of machine or apparatus. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But the important thing you know is that we have to generate um, the the parable of the cave as a parable, right? So we have to make sure that we're trying to read it as a parable. So that's one way of technologizing it, right? Just to uh, address it as a parable, right? And so it's opening up questions. It's opening up ways for us to think in new ways, or to ask questions, or to dialogue with it, or to deconstruct it, right? Um, Socrates is telling a story, right? He's not saying that we can't jump in and sort of, you know, improvise on the story or challenge it or anything, right? He's inviting us to do that, and that's what a parable invites us to do. So as long as you consider it, if you read the parable of the cave as a parable, you're already technologizing it, right? You're not didacticizing it. You're not, making it a sacred object that has to be listened to, has to be thought about in one way. You're not turning it into a monument or a memorial, right? That's the worst thing that we can do to text, is to say this text is about this and this only. That's instant death. Um, and that's not what we want, right? So we want to make sure that we're technologizing text. So technologizing it by reading it as a parable, by seeing it as a parable, is one thing. The second thing, and this is what I've prompted you to do in your discussion board, is to try to theatricalize it, or think about it as a theatrical project. And so I've given you 10 scenes to think about. So I've broken down the parable of the cave into 10 scenes, which are there, right? But not all of them are so signified, and they're definitely not entitled the way I entitled them. Uh, but you want to, so I've given you 10 scenes to think about, right? So broke it down, right, into specific things, in which you can now, or what we're looking for is that you're going to sort of um, expand each of these moments. So it's a very sort of simple story, right? Has these, relatively brief moments, but what we want to try to do is to attack, a certain point, and then to expand the possibilities in each of the scenes.